This is Calvin Castine. It's January 6th, 2003, a Monday afternoon. And we're at the Mart Lane just outside of beautiful downtown Rouse's Point. We're getting ready for a match, our first match of the season here on Hometown Cable. CVAC High School Bowling, featuring a home team, Northeastern Clinton, and the visitors, the Plattsburgh High School Hornets. To take us through the match will be Mr. Jim Tierney, the voice of bowling in the North Country. They're having their team photo taken, so we'll take this opportunity to also take a team photo. We only get to see 5 bowlers for the girls. And this is a chance to see some of the ones that'll be bowling, extra bowlers. But the top 5 bowlers make up the team, so your average is what decides that. So these are the Cougars. We'll also get a quick shot of the boys, because there'll be some of these boys that we probably won't see during the course of the season. The top 5 make the A team, these next 5 make the B team, and the others keep trying to improve their average during the course of the season.
I'd like to welcome you here to Northeastern's home match as Tierney starts off with double pinochle, 4-6. 7-10 split. We have Dan Dragoon shooting for Plattsburgh, and he leaves a solid 10-pin. Northeastern's been on the road for 5 straight matches. This is their first home match. And currently right now they're in second place, tied with PHS for second with a 23-17 record as Sable Valley leads the pack, both boys and girls. Sable Valley's out front 30-10, so Plattsburgh and Northeastern are 7 points behind as Dragoon picks up his spare. Josh Friend, the second bowler for Northeastern, leaves the babies split, the 3-10. As Friend ends up getting one of the 2 pins, we have second bowler Justin Bouye for PHS. He also leaves a baby split, the 3-10. And he'll miss all of them completely. Bryce Gadway, third bowler for Northeastern. Gadway, who is a 167 average bowler, ends up coming up light, leaving the 2-4-5. The pin, it's a handicap league as third bowler Ryan Bennett for Plattsburgh gets the first strike of the match as Gadway spares. So Gadway gets the first mark for Northeastern. Bring up Jason Guerin for PHS. Guerin comes up light, leaves just a 2-pin. Guerin, 197 average bowler for the Hornets. Has Alan Mavor. Mavor, 192 average bowler for the Cougars. He doesn't get to the head pin, leaves the 1-2-8. Guerin will spare. Again, like I said, this is a handicap match. Plattsburgh has 38 pins. Northeastern has 55. So Plattsburgh's going to be spotting Northeastern 17 pins. As Mavor misses, gets 2 of the 3 pins. The anchor bowler, Mark Dragoon for PHS. He comes up a little high, leaves the 4-7. Mark Dragoon, one of the higher average bowlers in the conference. He's at 205. And we have Chipola right here for Northeastern, leaves a 5-pin. Chipola right now, he's at 208. Followed by Tierney at Northeastern at 198. Mavor 192. Josh Friend 168. 167 for Gadway. As Dragoon misses the 2 pins. Chipola spares, bringing up the leadoff bowlers. Dragoon and Tierney, as Tierney crosses over, leaves the 10 pin. This is Dan Dragoon. He comes up light, leaves the 4-8 spare. We'll be bringing you 3 games, all 3 matches, the boys A, the boys B, and the girls match as Tierney misses the 10 pin. Second open in a row for Tierney as he leads off for Northeastern, has Dragoon spares. Again, this is Northeastern's first home match. They've been on the road 5 times, and they have a 23-17 record right now, same as PHS.
Need to borrow that.
As Justin Bouye leaves the 5 pin, Josh Friend will trip the 4-9. So Friend ends up getting the first strike for Northeastern, comes here in the second frame. Again, the Cougars are getting spotted 17 pins from the Hornets. The Hornets' home lanes are North Bowl. As Justin Bouye, he spares the 5 pin. Bryce Gadway, third bowler for the Cougars, doesn't get there. He leaves the 1-2. We have Ryan Bennett for PHS. Bennett working on a strike, looking to get the double, first double of the day, and he does. There are 8 schools in the conference. Again, Osable Valley leads with 30-10 record for the boys. As Gadway spares, Northeastern and Plattsburgh are tied second and third, 23-17, followed by Mariah and Peru, both 19-21. Beekmantown in 6th place at 18-22, as Guerin packs the pocket and leaves a solid 8 pin. The only actual tap in bowling right there is the 8 pin. All 9 pins threw out of there, and the 8 pin stood and laughed at him. As Maver comes up light, leaves the 2, 4, 5, 7. Guerin will spare the 8 pin. 7th place is Saranac, 17-23, and Ticonderoga is at the bottom, 11-29. As Maver, he'll get one of his 4 pins. So the Cougars are struggling here at home in their first match. Anchor bowler Mark Dragoon, he strikes. So PHS picks up 6 marks with a double from Bennett. As Chapolo anchors Northeastern, he comes up high and the 4 pin falls out. So after 2 frames, it's 161 for PHS and 165 for Northeastern. PHS has 3 more marks. So they're about a 30-pin lead right now for PHS after 2 frames, as Tierney doesn't get to the head pin, leaves a 1-2-4. Dragoon gets 5. And Tierney will spare. Tierney's first mark comes here in the 3rd frame. As Dan Dragoon, he'll also spare. Dragoon opens the match with 3 spares in a row. We have Friend bowling for Northeastern, working on a strike, looking for the first double, and he gets 9. Josh Friend, again, 168 average bowler. We have Justin Bouye, who averages 171 for PHS. He ends up leaving the 5 pin. Friend will spare. There's a 4-point system for each match, 1 point for each game with handicap, and then total for the evening match. And then you add the boys A and B together, so you have a total of 8 points. The girls have 1 team, so they have 4. As Bouye spares, Gadway comes up high, leaves the 6-7-10 split. In order to get this, Gadway must hit the 6 pin real light pushing the 6 pin into the 7 and the ball to take out the 10. Has Ryan Bennett working on a double. He triples as Gadway gives that a run, gets one of his 3 pins. Jason Guerin. Guerin, 197 average bowler, and he strikes. As Mavor for Northeastern comes up high, he also leaves a 6, 7, 10. Anchor bowler Mark Dragoon working on a strike. And he leaves a 10 pin. Mavor will get 2 of his 3 pins. As Dragoon will shoot the 10 pin and he'll cover it. So PHS marks again, and we have a triple for Bennett as Chipola comes up high, leaves the 3 pin. Tierney will lead off the 4th. And he'll come up light, leave the 2 pin. Chipola will spare. So after 3, 265 for PHS, 248 for Northeastern as Tierney runs by the 3 pin. Dan Dragoon leaves a solid 10. It's about a 50 pin lead for PHS after 3 frames. Josh Friend comes up high, leaves the 4-9 split. As Dragoon spares. Friend will get one of his 2. As Justin Bouye will trip the 4 pin. Gadway will come up high, leave just the 6 pin. Ryan Bennett on lane 12, working on a triple. Looking for a 4-bagger, coming up high, leaves the 6-10. And he'll change balls to a harder shelled ball, shooting for a spare. Most of the bowlers now do that. And he'll cover it. The harder ball doesn't break as much, so it goes kind of straight. As Mavor is shooting the 4th frame, he comes up high and leaves just the 6, just the 4-7 as a 10 pin went. As Guerin doubles here in the 4th frame. And Mavor will miss his. 4th open in a row for Mavor. Mark Dragoon, he will strike. So again, PHS has 5 marks in the 4th frame as Chipola strikes. Right now, after 4 frames, PHS is up by 100 pins going into with 6 frames to go as Tierney strikes in the 5th. Northeastern has dug themselves a pretty big hole to get out of. as Dragoon answers, and he strikes in the fifth to lead off the fifth. Josh Friend, he strikes also. Bouye on lane 11 for PHS. He's working on a strike, looking for a double. Comes up high, leaves the 4-10 spare. As Gadway comes up high and leaves a 3-6-7 split. Bouye will miss his. And Gadway will get one of his 3. Bennett on lane 11 crosses over and leaves just a 10 pin. As we have Maver on lane 12 looking for his first mark, and he gets it. Bennett shooting cross lanes at the 10 pin, he covers it. Again, we go to the anchor bowler Chapola for Northeastern. Fourth bowler Jason Guerin for PHS. Guerin working on a double. And he triples. As Chapola looking for Northeastern's first double, and he comes up light, leaving the 2 pin. Anchor bowler Dragoon for PHS comes up high, leaving the 4-7. Chapola will whiz by the 2 pin. So Northeastern will pick up 3 marks with the 3 strikes from Tierney, Friend, and Maver. As Mark Dragoon will finish on 11. His brother Dan will shoot on lane 12 as Dragoon misses. PHS will end up with 4 marks with the triple from Guerin. So they will they'll be 110 now ahead with half a game to go as Dan Dragoon doubles in the 5th and 6th. Tierney looking to answer, and he does. Also, he doubles. First double for Northeastern. Comes in the 5th and 6th of the first match as Justin Bouye strikes. Josh Friend looking to double. Comes up high, leaves the 3-6 spare. Ryan Bennett on lane 12. Got a little far outside and leaves a 2-10 split. Bennett, 189 average bowler. Is 4th on the team as Friend ends up getting 1 of his 2 pins. We have Dan Dragoon at 190, Jason Guerin at 197, Mark Dragoon at 205, and Justin Bouye 171. Those are the top 5 averages for PHS as Bennett misses both pins. Gadway will strike for Northeastern. Gadway, 167 average bowler, and he's the 5th bowler. Friend at 168, Alan Maver 192, 198 for Tierney, 208 for Chapola. As Guerin working on a triple, leaves a 10 pin. Maver working on a strike, comes up high, leaves a 4 pin. As Guerin will spare here in the 6th. Maver goes by the 4 pin. Mark Dragoon, he'll strike. Again, PHS will post 5 marks, aided by the double from Dan Dragoon. So they're just adding to their lead. As Chapola comes up high, trips a 4-pin. Northeastern will get 4 marks, aided by the double from Tierney. It's now 120 pins difference. Tierney working on a double, looking for a triple, and he gets it. Dan Dragoon working on a double, see if he can answer. And he comes up high, leaves the 4-6-7 split. As Josh Friend strikes in the 7th frame. Again, this is Northeastern's first home match. They're on the road for 5 matches. They go to Ausable Valley for their next one, and then they're home for 4 straight after that. As Gadway will get 7, leave the 1-2-4. Dragoon missed his spare completely. We have Justin Bouye crossing over, and he trips a 6. So he doubles here in the 6th and 7th. As Gadway will spare. So Northeastern caught fire here in the 7th. We got a triple from Tierney, a strike from Friend, and Gadway spares. PHS answers with a double from Justin Bouye. I'd like to welcome all our viewers from the Northern Tier. Hope you're enjoying this match between Plattsburgh Hornets and Northeast Cougars. Has Ryan Bennett hit the pocket and left the 7-10. Kind of a double whammy there, the 7-pin and the 10-pin. Again, he'll switch to a harder surface ball, shooting across the lane at the 10-pin. He'll cover it. Bringing up Maver for Northeastern on lane 12. And Maver will come up light, leaves the 5-pin. We have the boys A match bowling on 11 and 12 this afternoon. Boys B will be on 13-14, and the girls will be on 9 and 10. As Jason Guerin will come up high, leave just the 4-pin. Maver will spare the 5-pin. And Guerin will go by the 4-pin as he threw it in the middle of the lane, hit some of the oil there, and it skidded by. Chapola will hit the head pin flush, leaving just the 6, 9, 10 spare. As Mark Dragoon will shake him light, leaves just the 7-pin. Chapola will cover his spare, so Northeastern has a full mark frame here in the 7th. Finally, they end up with 6 marks, aided by the double from Tierney. Well, the triple from Tierney. So they're going to pick up some ground here as Dragoon misses. So the only marks PHS musters here in the 7th is a double from Justin Bouye as Dan Dragoon leaves the 8-pin. So the Cougars will cut the lead to 70 pins now with 3 frames to go. Tierney working on a triple, looking for a 4-bagger, and he catches it. Tierney, who struggled to start with, has caught fire here on the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th for the Cougars. As Dragoon will miss the 8-pin. PHS had built a 120-pin lead halfway through the game. The Northeastern seems to be fighting back as Friend doubles. Bouye working on a double for PHS. Will cross over and leave the 5-6-10 split. Gadway looking to get in the action. He strikes. So the Cougars are catching fire in the 7th and 8th frame. Here in the 8th, all three of the first bowlers have struck. As Bouye for PHS, nice spare. Had to park the pins and cover the 10 also. Good spare by Bouye. Has Maver will leave just the 7 pin. Ryan Bennett will come up high, leaves the 4-6-10. Maver shooting the 7 pin. And he will cover it. So Northeastern has 4 marks from the first 4 bowlers, bringing up their anchor Chipola, as Bennett will take the 2 pins. Again, we'd like to welcome you, coming to you from the Bowl Mart, as Chipola looked like he made a ball change there and he struck. As Guerin leaves just the 2 pin. The Cougars will catch 7 marks, aided by the 4-bagger from Tierney, the double from Friend. And they will pick up probably another 40 pins, as Dan Dragoon will start the 9th frame off with a strike for PHS, as Guerin will spare. Again, if you'd like to be a viewer patron, send your donation to Hometown Cable, 1477 Ridge Road, Champlain, New York, 12919. Or if you see Calvin out taping. Again, we'd like to thank Calvin for taping the matches between the boys. As Mark Dragoon will strike to end the 8th for PHS. So PHS will pick up 3 marks to Northeastern's 7. It is a 40 pin difference. PHS ahead, as Bouye comes up high, leaving the 4-7-10 split. Cougars right now are working on 4 strikes in the 8th frame, can really put a dent into the 40 pin lead from PHS with a good frame here in the 9th. As Bouye shoots cross lanes for the ball, he hits 2 of the 3 pins. Tierney working on a 4-bagger, shooting the 9th frame for Northeastern on lane 12. He's got it out there. It's coming back. Is it going to shake him? And it does. A 5-bagger for James Tierney as he gets him going in the 9th. As Bennett skids by the head pin, leaves a 1-2-8. Friend working on a double, looking for a triple. Comes up high with the 3-6-10. As Bennett will spare. Friend will chop, get 1 of the 3. Jason Guerin working on a spare. He strikes in the 9th. Bryce Gadway, he's also working on a strike for Northeastern. He's going to come up light, leaves a 1-2-8. Anchor bowler Mark Dragoon working on a strike for PHS. And he will double. So PHS will pick up 5 marks here in the 9th frame. The Cougars still got a couple bowlers to go, as Gadway will spare. So Tierney's already shot. He's doubled. Gadway spares. They got 3 marks. They got 2 to go. We got Maver and Chipola. Maver working on a spare, Chipola on a strike. Maver on lane 12, shooting the 9th frame. Is going to come up, and he strikes. Again, they call a ninth frame a foundation frame in bowling. Chipola working on a strike. And he's out the window. He leaves the 1-2-8. If Chipola spares, it'll be five marks apiece. It's Tierney working on a 5-bagger. He got the ball too far in the middle, skidded. Chipola spares. All right, Chipola with his spare. It's 5 marks apiece for both teams. It is now a 30-pin difference with Tierney chopping in the 10th frame. 30-pin difference as Dragoon will throw it in the gutter. Tierney ends up with 189. That will be 9 pins shy of his 198 average as Friend strikes. And Dragoon will try to throw it out. He got it out. It came back. Nice spare. He was on a strike, so it didn't cost him much as Friend doubles. And Dragoon will end up with 172. That's Dan Dragoon. It'll be 18 pins under his 190 average. As Friend will throw 29 for the frame. He'll go 166. That's 2 pins under his 168 average. And we have Justin Bouye going Brooklyn and striking. And Bouye shooting his second shot on lane 12. Looking for a double. He's going to come up high, leaves the 4-7 spare. Gadway, heel strike. After 2 bowlers, Northeastern's down by 20 pins. And Dragoon is working on a double in the 10th. So it's actually a 30-pin deficit as Gadway will get 9 on his second shot. Bringing up Ryan Bennett. Bennett will come up high, leaves just the 3-pin. And Gadway will miss the 3-pin. Gadway will go 167. That's right on his average, exactly. As Bouye throws 166. That's 5 pins under his 171 average. As Bennett spares. Maver on a strike, looking for a double. Okay, and he does. Bennett will throw his fill ball. And he will get 5. So he'll go 175. 14 pins under his 189 average. Maver looking for a triple. And he'll leave just the 5-pin. As Guerin will leave just the 2-pin. Maver spares. He throws 149. As Guerin spares in the 10th. Mavers 149 is 43 pins under his 192 average. As Chipola will leave what we call double wood, the 2-8. And Guerin will strike, he'll leave the 10 pin. So Guerin will go 205. That's 8 pins above his average. As Chipola spares. Bringing up Dragoon. I believe Dragoon needs a pretty decent fill here to ice it, and he leaves a 4 pin. Yeah, that would be it. Looks like 915 to 902. The best that Chipola can get is 10 more pins. He'll get 912. And he will get a 9. They will go 185 for Chipola. That's 23 pins under his 208 average. So the Cougars will bowl 911. And PHS already has 915, so Cougars made a good effort to try to come back after being down 120 pins halfway through the game. As Dragoon just barely got the 4 pin. Other than Gadway hit exactly his average at 167. Josh Friend 166 was 2 under his. Jason Guerin's the only other person that went above his average. As Guerin shot 205 for PHS, the only one in the 200s. And Dragoon will end with 171, which will be 34 pins under his average. But with Guerin's 205 and everyone else right around the 170s, PHS will win the first game 927 to 911. So the Cougars did try to make a comeback, but they come up 16 pins shy. And we'll bring you the boys B match in a moment. And due to the faster bowling from the girls, we're going to cover the girls' second game, as they just won the first game, the Northeastern girls did. As leadoff bowler Cassie Roberts starts the second game with the 5-7 split. And we have Sarah Gates starting off for PHS with a strike. And again, Roberts will be shooting the spare. Nice spare by Cassie Roberts. Needs to just nick the 5 pin on the right-hand side. Push it into the 7. Textbook shot by Roberts. As we have Stacy Steele getting 5 pins. Second bowler, Laura Lee Paya. Laura leaves just the 5 pin. And as soon as we find out boys B game, it's still in progress, the first one, we'll tell you whether they win or not. As Steele gets 4 of her 5 pins. Laura Lee will cover the 5 pin. We have Rachel Terry, 119 average third bowler for PHS. She strikes here to start the first. Natasha Generu for Northeastern. Natasha will leave the 2-5 spare. Natasha is a 128 average bowler for the Cougars. We have Katie Algier, 133 average fourth bowler for PHS. She'll leave just a 10 pin as Generu misses her spare. Again, this is the first home match for the Cougars here from the Bull Mart, after 5 road matches, hopefully they'll be happy to be home. As Megan Sorrell will cross over and she'll trip the 5-9. Sorrell, a 147 average bowler. As Algier will spare. Bring up anchor bowler Danielle Tierney. Tierney for Northeastern will cross and she'll also trip the 5-9. Danielle, a 155 average bowler. She's second on the team to Roberts at 194. We have Elizabeth Rock, who's high average for PHS at 149. She leaves a 310 split. Leadoff bowler Sarah Gates, she's at 146. She started with a strike, looking for a double. She will leave the 5-7 split. As Liz Rock spares the 310. Liz at a 146 her first game. High game was Stacy Steele at 149. Again, the Cougar girls won 946 to 903, so they take a 43-pin lead into the second game. As the handicap is 175 for Northeastern and 224 for PHS, so 49 pins. Northeastern is spotting PHS as Gates ends up getting one of her 2 pins on the split. And Shebo 144 her first game to go with her 146 average as Roberts comes up high, leaving just the 3-6 spare, and she will cover it nicely as Steele on the other hand leaves a 2-4 spare, or the opposite spare that Roberts just shot at. Roberts 194 average, Shebo 182 to lead all bowlers on the pair, followed by Tierney at 155, hit right on her average. 152 for Sorrell, 144 for Laura Lee, and Natasha at 138. As Steele will be shooting her spare and it'll curve back. She'll miss it. Stacy 149, she led all the bowlers on PHS to go with her 141 average. As Laura Lee will strike here in the second frame. And Terry will come up high, leaves just the 7-pin. Rachel Terry at a 99 to go with her 119 average. As Jenneru leaves the 178 split or spare. As Terry misses. Again, this is the second game of the girls match. There's only one girls team, and so there's a 4-point girls totals. As Jenneru gets 2 of her 3. And Northeastern again is tied for second with Beekmantown at 13-7 record. Sable Valley's out front. They're 19-1, so they're 6 games behind. They do play Sable Valley in Sable Forks on Wednesday. As Algier gets 2 of her 3 pins, Sorrell gets 4 in her first shot. As Megan shooting her spare and she covers it. So Roberts, Parya, and Sorrell all mark here in the second, bringing up Tierney working on a strike. And we have Liz Rock, and Liz will come high, leave double pinochle, the big 4. 4, 6, 7, 10 spare. Tierney working on a strike, looking for a double, and she'll shake him, and she gets him. As Liz will get one of her 4 pins. And as we complete the second frame, Northeastern has 310 with 5 marks, so that'll bring it probably to about 360. And PHS has 347, so Northeastern has made up their pin difference plus here already after 2 frames. As Robert starts the third off, leaving the 10 pin, we'll see Sarah Gates here crossing over, leaving 5, getting 5 pins. Again, Roberts at 194 average. Those tops in the conference for girls. One of the top girls. She spares. Again, she had 182 her first game. As she opens with 3 marks. Sarah Gates for PHS, the leadoff bowler. Gates has a 146 average. She bowled 144 her first game. As Laura Lee will double, so she'll get, so. We have steal for the Hornets. She will get 3 pins. Laura Lee at 144 her first game to go with her 137 average. Had Steele again bowl 149 to go with her 141 average. And we'll watch Stacy Steele. It's called a backup ball. She spins it off the side of her wrist as she spares. And Natasha will miss her 2 pins. That's what we call a backup ball in bowling. Is you spin it kind of backwards and it goes, well, she's got a pretty good size hook on it. As Megan Sorrell will come up high, leave the fence on the right-hand side. And we have Rachel Terry will get 5 pins. Again, Terry, 119 average bowler, had 199 her first game. Sorrell, 152. She had to go with her 147 average. And Sorrell will get one of her 3 pins. And Terry will get 3 of her 5 pins. So we have anchor bowler Tierney coming up for the Cougars. And she lost a pin, so they'll have to re-rack. As Algier will end up getting 7. Again, Katie Algier at a 141 to go with her 133 average. Tierney working on a double, looking for a triple. She gets 8 pins. As Algier looking to spare, she's going to get one of her 3. In a moment, I'll run down the rest of the girls' standings. As Tierney will shoot for her 2 pins and she'll get 1. As Liz Rock working on a open, she'll leave the split, the baby split, the 2-7. We get 2 marks for the Cougars, actually 3 with aided by the double of Laura Lee. So we have 1 mark right now for PHS. As Liz Rock will be shooting her spare and she'll get 1. So we have 1 mark for PHS to 3 for Northeastern. Northeastern is 398 to 389 plus 2. Looks like it's about a 30-pin difference. As we move to the fourth frame, Gates will start out leaving just the head pin, and she'll spare it. As Roberts will shoot for the Cougars, and she'll strike here to lead off the fourth frame. I've just been notified there that the boys B won their first game. So it's 1-1 for the boys, and the girls are up 1-0 as Steele will strike. Laura Lee working on a double, looking for a triple. Comes up a little high, leaves the 4-10 spare. Again, we'd like to welcome our viewers in the Northern Tier. Hope you're enjoying the match today between the Hornets and the Cougars, as Rach Terry will strike in the fourth frame. Laura Lee will spare her 2 pins. Coming to you from the Bull Mart. Home lanes for the Cougars. Again, Plattsburgh's home lanes is North Bowl, which ends up also Saranac, Beekmantown, and Peru. They're all home lanes are North Bowl. So sometimes when you're away there, you're at home. As Algier gets 9, leaving just the 6-pin. Generou will leave the 1-2. And Generou will spare. Natasha had 138 her first game. Algier had 141. So Algier misses her pin.
Chris. Over more. Chris.
Sorrell will get the 4th mark for the Cougars here in the 4th frame as she strikes, and so does Elizabeth Rock. So Rock will get the 4th mark for PHS. That'll bring up Tierney, the anchor bowler for Northeastern, and Tierney will leave just the 5-pin. Tierney can mark here. We'll end up with 5 marks for the Cougars here in the 4th. Roberts working on a strike, looking for a double. Comes up light, leaves just the 2-pin. And Tierney will mark. So Danielle will end up filling the frame for the Cougars. They will have 5 marks here in the 4th. So they will pick up another 10 pins on the Hornets. So it'll now be a 40-pin lead with 6 frames to go as Roberts opens the 5th with a spare. As Sarah Gates will get 7 pins. Again, in the girls, Sable Valley's out in front with 19-1 record, followed by Northeastern and Beekmantown at 13-7. Peru's in 4th, 12-8. Saranac 11-9. 6th place is PHS, tied with Ty at 6-14. And Mariah is in 8th place, 0-20. Those are the girls. As Laura Lee will strike in the 5th. Gates will get 2 of her 3 pins. Generou working on a spare. She will get 7. Northeastern will go to Sable Valley on Wednesday, then have a home match on Friday. Has Stacy Steele working on a strike, looking for a double, and she ends up leaving the 8-pin. As Generou gets 2 of her 3 pins. Steele will miss her 8-pin. Sorrell working on a strike, looking for a double, and she will get 6 pins. As Rachel Terry also working on a strike, she got 9. Sorrell will miss her 4 pins that are up. And we have Terry just going by the 3-pin. And Tierney will get 6 pins, her first shot. So after having good 4th frames for both teams, the 5th frame has started out kind of shaky. And we have bowler Algier. Algier will strike here in the 5th. Tierney will shoot her 4 pins, and she will cover them. Nice spare by Danielle. As she'll end up with giving Cougars 3 marks here in the 5th. As Rock will double, so Algier and Rock strike to end the 5th for PHS. They'll give them 3 marks also. So after exactly half a game, we have 560 for Northeastern, 530 for PHS. It's a 30-pin lead for Northeastern with half a game to go. And Gates will start off the 6th with 7. Roberts will start off the 6th frame, and she'll leave the 10-pin. We'd like to welcome again all our viewers, and if you'd like to be a viewer patron, send your check or donation to Hometown Cable, 1477 Ridge Road, Champlain, New York, 12919. As Roberts misses her 10-pin, Gates ends up getting one of her 3. So we end up both leadoff bowlers open here in the 6th. Bringing up the second bowlers, Steele and Paya, as Steele gets 7. She leaves the 1-3-4 spare. 1-3-6. Laura Lee working on a strike, looking for a double. She'll cross over and leave just the 6-10. Steele shooting her 3 pins, and she will cover them. Laura Lee shooting her 2 in the corner, and she will cover those also. So both second bowlers will spare. We have Jenneru and Terry, the third bowlers, as Jenneru will get double wood, leaving the 3-9, as Rachel will come right through the nose, leaving double pinochle along with the 9-pin. It's what we call grandma's teeth. She got 5 pins. Jenneru will get one of her 2. As Sorrell will be up here in the 6th. And she will cross and leave just the 3-pin. As Sorrell will go by the 3-pin. Terry will be shooting her spare. She needs to hit the 3 pins in the corner, driving one towards the other 2. She'll miss all 5.
Chris. Roger's numbers came up.
And we go to the anchor bowler for Northeastern, Tierney. And she will get a strike. Oh, we have Algier shooting, looking for a double, and she doubles. So in the 6th frame, we have marks for Northeastern from Laura Lee and Danielle Tierney. As PHS has marks right now from Steele and a double from Algier. Rock working on a double, looking for a triple. Can cut the lead to 10 as she gets 8. Leaves the 1-3. As Sarah Gates starts out the 7th with a strike. And Rock will get one of her 2 pins. Steele working on a spare. And she will leave just the 1-2. Cassie Roberts, she will strike. To lead off the 7th.
Danielle, Cassie, she's shooting there. It's all wrong there. On lane 10.
As Steele will pick up her spare. And Paya working on a spare. She gets 9. As we have Terry, who was on an open, she gets 7, leaves the 2, 4, 5 spare. Laura Lee will cover the 7 pin. As Terry will get one of her 3 pins. Generu will strike in the 7th. So we have strikes from Roberts and Generu, spare from Laura Lee after 3 bowlers. PHS also has 2 marks, and Algier working on a double, looking for a triple. She'll get 6 pins. As Sorrell will get 6 also. And again, we'll bring you updates from the boys as soon as we get them. The boys A lost the first game, as you saw, and the B had won theirs, so the boys are 1-1. As Sorrell will get 3 of her 4 pins. Algier will go by hers. She'll end up with 0 for the second shot. Bringing up the anchors, Tierney and Rock. As Rock will get 7. Tierney working on a strike, looking for a double. She's got it out there, and she mixes them. 7th grade Danielle Tierney doubles here in the 6th and 7th. As Rock will spare the pins. So in the 7th frame, we have 3 marks for PHS, 5 for Northeastern, aided by the double from Tierney. So it is a 50-pin lead with 3 frames to go. As Roberts working on a strike, it's going to come high, leaves just the 3-pin. And we have Gates leaving the 2-4-5. Again, there's only one girls team, so they will have 4 points to contend with. The boys have 2, so they have 8 points total per match. As we look here for the boys A, Northeastern has a commanding lead with 978 to 840. With 1 bowler to go for each of them, as Chipola will shoot 240 something to lead them. As we see Robert spares and Gates will get 2 of her 3 pins. Paya will leave just the 5-pin. So Northeastern A will shoot 9 for the boys. 992, led by Chipola's 244. And Tierney's 183 has... We have Jason Guerin shooting another 200 game for PHS. He shoots 215. But the boys win 992 to 863. As Paya picked up the 5-pin, Steele gets 7 and a miss. Jenneru working on a strike, looking for a double. She will get 7 pins. So Northeastern A boys picked up that game. They're now ahead by about 70 pins, I believe. As Rachel Terry strikes here in the 8th for the Hornets. Natasha will miss her 3 pins. And we have Algier with 5 pins. Sorrell will get a 6 split. For Sorrell, this is the 2-4-8-10. She needs to hit the 3 pins kind of light and pushing 1 into the 10-pin. As Algier will spare. Sorrell gave it a run. She kicked 1 over that way, just didn't go over far enough. As Rock leaves the 5-pin. Danielle Tierney looking for a triple, comes up high on the nose. Leaves the 6-7. Again, we'd like to welcome our viewers in the northern tier, the Plattsburgh area. Hope you're enjoying this match between the Hornets and the Cougars. Coming to you from the Mart. Has Rock spares. Tierney will shoot cross lanes at hers, and she will cover it. So right now, the boys A is tied up 1-1. PHS winning the first game, Northeastern winning the second. Cougars with a 70-pin lead. The Northeastern girls won the first game by 43 pins, and they have a 40-pin lead now with 2 frames to go. As Gates leaves just the 6-pin, and Roberts leaves just the 5. Cassie will cover the 5-pin. Gates to shoot the spare. And she will miss it. Laura Lee Paya will be shooting in the 9th. She's going to cross over, and leaves a 10 pin. Stacy Steele will come up high, and she will leave the 2-7 split, as Laura Lee will miss a 10 pin. Steele shooting the 2-7. She's going to go right between them. Textbook shot right there. Natasha Generu will get 5. As Terry, the third bowler for PHS. She will get 6, her first shot. Jenneru will get 6 for the frame. That'll bring up Sorrell for Northeastern. And she will be riding the edge, and she's going to end up with 7. As Terry will get 2 of her 4 pins. Sorrell shooting the spare, and she will cover it nicely. So we have spares by Sorrell and Roberts here in the 9th. We have a spare by Steele, Alger shooting, and she will strike in the 9th. So we bring up the anchor bowlers, Tierney and Rock. Tierney working on a spare for the Cougars, and she will get 6 pins. As Rock will leave just the 9 pin. Tierney to shoot her spare, and she gets 3 of her 4 pins. And Rock will cover the 9 pin. So PHS will pick up 3 marks in the 9th, the 2 for Northeastern. It is a 50-pin lead for Northeastern with 1 frame to go. And the leadoff bowlers, Gates and Roberts. Gates will cross, leave the double wood, the 2-8. As Roberts working on a spare, she will crush them, get 7 pin goes. This is the 6th match for, I believe both teams. There are 8 teams in the league, so there's 7 matches. They all bowl a home and home, so it will be a total of 14. So as of Wednesday, they'll be halfway through. As Roberts doubles, Gates will open, so Gates will throw 115 to go with her 146 average. Roberts will strike out, go 194, hitting her average right on the button. Nice finish for Cassie. And the Steele will leave just the 2 pin. As Laura Lee will come up a little high, and she'll leave the 4-7 spare. Steele shooting the 2 pin and just squeezes by it. She'll go 135 to go with her 141 average as Laura Lee spares. Again, we'd like to welcome all our viewers. Hope you're enjoying the match between the Hornets and the Cougars. As Terry comes up high, leaving the 4-6-7 spare. Split. Laura Lee will strike, and Laura Lee will throw 194. That'll be 57 pins above her 137 average. Nice game by Laura Lee. As Terry will get 2 pins, she will go 112. That's 7 pins under 119 average. As Jennaru will get 3 pins, her first shot. Algier working on a strike, she will get 4. As Jennaru spares.
Looks better on paper than on the ground.
And Algier will get 8 for her frame. So Katie Algier will go 137. That's 4 pins above her 133 average. Jennaru will strike her final ball. She'll go 110. That'll be 18 pins under 128 average as Rock beats through the nose, gets double pinochle. Sorrell working on a spare, gonna get 4 pins. Rock will get nothing for her final shot. She will go 149, which will hit her average right on the nose at 149. As Sorrell will shoot her second shot here in the 10th, and she will get 2 more, so she will get 6 for the frame. She'll go 114. That'll be 33 pins under her 147 average. But the damage has already been done by the 2 leadoff bowlers, a pair of 194s. As Tierney will be shooting here. She'll wiggle a 7 pin. The Northeast Cougar girls are ahead right now, 961 to 872. With Tierney to shoot the 7 pin. And she will cover it. Whoa. Huh?
Hey, what'd you have your second game? What'd you have your second game?
Liz.
Anchor bowler Danielle Tierney is 165, working on a spare. And she crushes the rack to beat her brother in the second game. 185. James had 183. A little bit of competition there. Nice game by Danielle Tierney. So we have a pair of 194s from Cassie Roberts and Laura Lee Paya. Danielle Tierney with 185. The Cougars win by 100 pins that game. So the Cougars girls are up 2-0 with 1 to go. And we'll bring you the boys B match in a moment. And we'd like to welcome you to the 3rd and final match here between the Hornets of PHS and Cougars of Northeastern. This is the boys B match. We have 7 pins shot on lane 14 for Charlie Martin, the leadoff bowler for the Cougars. And he will get 1. He'll get 8 for the frame. Charlie, a 127 average bowler. As we have the first bowler for PHS, he'll spare. We have Garrett Mostic, 156 average bowler. This is Jess Guerin for Northeastern, the second bowler. Jess, a 120 average bowler. He strikes here in the lead off the first frame. As we have second bowler Elliot Lackey. Elliot, 146 average bowler. He gets 7. And we have Ryan Baker, 147 average. Third bowler. He gets 7 also. Lackey will be shooting his spare. He left the 1-3-6, where on the other side, Baker left the 1-2-4. Lackey will get 2. Baker will spare. As we have Dennis Cregan. Cregan strikes in the third. Jarrett Borey for Northeastern, a fourth bowler. He will leave the 1-3 spare. So Borey, who for Northeastern, he has a 143 average. We have the fourth bowler, Kyle Ryan for PHS, 154 average, fourth bowler. Ryan will leave just the 7-pin. Borey will miss the 1-3. And as soon as I get the results here, I'll pass them along. As Ryan misses, we have Jeremy Ballard. Jeremy will leave just the 6-pin. Ballard leads the boys B with 160 average, followed by Baker at 147, Borey 143, Charlie Martin 127, and Jesse Guerin at 120. As the anchor bowler, Kevin McCarthy, 154 average for PHS. He leaves the 2-10 split. Ballard spares. As McCarthy will get one of his 2. The leadoff bowler, Garrett Mostick, working on a spare. He throws it in the gutter. As Martin for Northeastern, Charlie will strike in a second. And again, this is the final match. This is the B match. That's the next 5 highest average bowlers for each team, as Mostick ends up getting 8 for the frame. Jesse Guerin working on a strike, looking for a double. He comes up high, leaves the 4-7. And second bowler, Elliot Lackey. Lackey will cross over and leave just the 3-5. As Guerin goes in the gutter. Lackey shooting the spare. And he will cover it. As Ryan Baker, he'll leave just the 5-pin. So I now receive the sheet here, and I'll go through some of the totals. As Dennis Cregan will get 8 pins. As Baker spares, Ryan Baker had games of 162, 153. As the Cougars win the first game 959 to 937 over PHS. 186 for Jarrett Borey. He was high for the Cougars. As Cregan picks up the 3-10 split. Nice shot by Cregan. Jarrett Borey, who had games of 186 and 145 for Northeastern. He strikes here in the second. The first game McCarthy was high for PHS, 169, followed by Ryan at 156. The second game went to PHS with a pair of 161s from Ryan and McCarthy. 171 was high. Lackey 969 to 893. As Ballard strikes for Northeastern, Ryan will get 8, leaving double wood for the Hornets, and he will get one of his 2 pins. So totals, we have 1906 for PHS and 1852 for Northeastern. So it is a difference of 54 pins going into the last game here. The Hornets are ahead. As we see a strike from Mostick, the last bowler McCarthy left 7. Second bowler Eli Elliott Lackey will cross over and he'll strike also. As McCarthy spares. McCarthy a 154 average bowler, again at games of 169 and 161. Lackey, who just struck, he's got an average of 146 at games of 122 and 171. As leadoff bowler Charlie Martin will leave the 1-2 for Northeastern. Martin had games of 147 and 125 to go with his 127 average. Second bowler Dennis Cregan, 122 average bowler for PHS. He had games of 153 and 135 as Martin spares. And Cregan will spare also here in the third frame. So PHS opens with 2 strikes and a spare, as Northeastern opens with a spare, and Jess Guerin will get 9. Guerin, 120 average bowler at games of 107 and 109. We have the fourth bowler, Kyle Ryan for Plattsburgh. You leave the 10 pin. Kyle to go with his 154 average at games of 156 and 161. As Guerin will miss the 2 pin. And Ryan will go in the gutter and came out and hit the pins. Once the ball leaves the playing surface, it doesn't count, so they'll have to take that off the score because the eye down there sees nothing. It'll mark a spare. As Baker, he'll strike here in the third frame. Ryan at games of 162 and 153 to go with his 147 average. And anchor bowler McCarthy, he also strikes. Bringing up Borey for Northeastern, the third bowler. And Jarrett working on a strike, looking for a double, and he comes up high, leaving the 4-7-10 split. Martin leading off the fourth frame, and he'll strike. As Borey will shoot. Oh, and he almost gets the spare. Well, we have the second bowler, Jess Guerin, for Northeastern. Guerin, that left the playing surface, so he should have to set that up. And Ballard will shoot. And he will get 7, leaving the 1-2-7. As Ballard will spare. So after 3 frames complete, Northeastern is ahead 417 to 367. Again, the handicap situation is 186 for PHS and 201 for the Cougars, so Plattsburgh Hornets are spotting them 15 pins. As a leadoff bowler, Garrett leaves a 10 pin. Garrett had 155 or 151 and 155 as he switched to a harder ball to shoot the 10 pin. Went in the ditch early. We have Baker, the third bowler for the Cougars, working on a strike, looking for a double, and he'll end up leaving the 1-3-6. As Lackey will wiggle a 9 pin. Ryan Baker shooting the 1-3-6, and he covers it. Again, we'd like to welcome our viewers from the Plattsburgh area and the northern tier. As Lackey will spare. Borey for Northeastern is going to come high, leaves just the 6 pin. Third bowler, Dennis Cretin for PHS, he'll leave the 5 pin. Cretin had games of 135 and 153 to go with his 122 average. As Borey spares the 6 pin. And we have Cretin's going to go by the 5 pin. Ballard working on a spare for Northeastern. He will strike here in the 4th. Northeastern will pick up 4 marks. As Ryan will get 9, leave the 7 pin. Leadoff bowler Garrett. Garrett will leave the 5-9. As we have Ryan sparing here in the 4th. Molstick will be shooting straight at it, and he will also spare. McCarthy, the anchor bowler, shooting, he'll cross over and leave the 5-10 split. Elliot Lackey on lane 13, and he will get 5 pins. As McCarthy will get one of his 2. So in the 4th frame, the Hornets pick up 2 marks to the Cougars 3. It is the 4th, the Cougars pick up 4 marks. As we start the 5th, the difference is 20-some pins. As Lackey gets 3 of his 5 pins, Martin will get 6 to start off the 5th. And third bowler Cregan, he will end up striking as Martin gets 2.
Your sheet, well, whatever.
And we have Kyle Ryan, and he'll strike here in the 5th as Jess Guerin will get 1 pin. Update on the boys A, I see Northeastern winning that game 996 to 946. So after getting beat the first game, Northeastern comes back and wins the next 2 in total. And again, I'll give you the updates on who bowled well in a moment. As Jess Guerin gets 5 for the frame. McCarthy shooting the 5th frame, he'll strike. So the last 3 bowlers for PHS all strike after a spare from their leadoff bowler. Oh, the Northeastern will have Baker. He will strike in the 5th. As we have Martin coming up to shoot the 6th for the Cougars. He'll cross over and got too much of the head pin, leaving the 4-6-10. Jared Borey for the Cougars. He will go left and leave the 1-3-6 as Martin gets one of his 3 pins. Borey to shoot the fence. And he misses it to the left. As Guerin shoots a 6 frame, he ends up with double wood. Ballard will end the 5th for the Cougars. He's working on a strike, looking for a double, and he leaves a 7 pin. Guerin to shoot, and he misses the 2 pins. Ballard to shoot the 7 pin, and he misses it. So it's about even right now with half a game to go. As Baker leaves the 4-7 spare, Mostic will cross over and carry, and he'll strike. Care to lead off the 6 for the Hornets. As Ryan will spare. Ryan Baker for the Cougars, 147 average. And we have the second bowler, Lackey, for PHS, and he will strike. So Mostic and Lackey both strike to start off the 6th frame for the Hornets. As Borey will leave the 1-3-6-9. Cregan will double for the Hornets here in the 5th and 6th. Borey to shoot the fence. He will get 3 of them. As Kyle Ryan crosses over, he also doubles. Big frame here in the 5th and 6th for the Hornets as all 4 bowlers have struck to lead off there in the 6th with doubles from Cregan and Ryan. That'll bring up McCarthy, who's working on a strike for PHS. And he will come up light, leaves the 2-4-5 spare. Ballard leaves this 8 pin, and he'll cover it. So right now, after 6 frames, 2 marks for Northeastern. PHS with a spare from McCarthy, pick up 7 marks in that frame. So they will take a 40 pin lead going into the 7th frame. Plus PHS is working on 2 doubles and 2 other strikes. So we move to the 7th frame, and Mostic comes up high, leaves a 4-9. As Martin leaves the 1-2-8. Molstick shooting the 4-9. He gets one of them. And Martin will spare his shot. And we have Lackey on lane 13. Elliott working on a strike, and he will come up high, leaving the 3-10 split. Jess Guerin for the Cougars, he will leave the 6-10 spare. Match between the Hornets of PHS and the Cougars of Northeastern, as Lackey gets one of his 2 pins. Guerin will get both of them. No, I believe that's Guerin's first mark here in the 7th frame. As Cregan working on a double, and he'll cross over, leave just the 6-pin. Baker for Northeastern, he'll cross, leave just the 5-pin. Cregan shooting cross lanes, and he covers the 6. As Ryan will cover the 5-pin. We have the 4th bowler, Kyle Ryan for Plattsburgh. He will leave double wood. Jarrett Borey for Northeastern. He will strike here in the 7th. As Kyle goes by that, ends up with 8 for the frame. Well, PHS, who had a good 5th and 6th frame, struggling here in the 7th as Ballard leaves the 4, 6, 7. McCarthy for PHS, he'll leave just a 10-pin. Ballard shooting the split. He will get 2 of them. So Northeastern will pick up 4 marks. PHS, as McCarthy misses a 10-pin, will pick up 1. So it is still about a 40-pin lead for Plattsburgh with 3 frames to go. As Garrett Molstick will lead off the 7th, 8th frame for Plattsburgh. He will strike as Martin will end up with 8 pins out of that mess as they dominoed around. Elliott Lackey shooting on lane 14 as Martin misses. Lackey will get 9, leave just the 2-pin. Lackey on lane 14, shooting the 2-pin straight at it, and he covers it. Jess Guerin on lane 13 for Northeastern, working on a spare, and he will get 8 pins. Cregan on lane 14, and he will come a little high, leaves just the 3-pin. As Guerin will shoot the 1-2 right straight at him, and he will get him. And Cregan shooting the 3-pin, he covers it. So in the 8th frame, we have first 3 bowlers for PHS have all marked. We have 1 of 2 for Northeastern with Ryan Baker up as Ryan comes high, leaves a 4-7. As we have Kevin Ryan leaving the 2-4-5. Ryan Baker doesn't get there, misses the 2 pins. Kyle Ryan misses the three, misses those three head. Borey for Northeastern working on a strike, looking for a double. And he gets it. McCarthy shooting for PHS here in the 8th frame. He'll come up light, leaves 5 pins. As Ballard finishes up the 8th for Northeastern, he strikes. So the Cougars will pick up 4 marks, aided by the double from Borey as McCarthy spares. So also the Hornets will pick up 4 marks. PHS in the lead. As Mostic crosses and leaves a 9 pin. Martin will shake him up and he'll strike. The 9th frame of the final game here between the Hornets and the Cougars, coming to you from the Bowl Mart. This is the 6th match of the year for both teams, as Garrett will miss the 9 pin. Jess Guerin will strike also. So the first 2 bowlers for Northeastern have struck in the 9th. And Lackey for PHS going to come up high, leaving the 6-10. Ryan Baker for Northeastern is going to cross over, leaving the 5-8, 5-9, excuse me. And Lackey will cover his spare. Baker will chop one of the 2 pins. As third bowler Cretan will get 7 pins. Borey working on a double for the Cougars, looking a triple. And he's got it out there, and he leaves the 5, 8, 10 spare. As Cretan will spare, Lou Dennis will mark here in the 9th. Borey will get 2 of his 3 pins. 4th bowler Kyle Ryan for PHS, and he will leave the 10 pin. Ballard will leave the 10 pin also. I can't see it. I don't know. As Ryan will go by the 10 pin. Ballard will get the 10 pin. It'll bring up the final bowler in the 9th frame for the Hornets. McCarthy working on a spare. He dropped that one kind of short. He gets 7. Hornets, as Mostic ends up wiggling the 4 pin. McCarthy will spare. As we have going right down to the 10th frame here. It's 8:47 the 9th for PHS, 8:43 for the Hornets, as Mostic misses his. Charlie strikes in a 10th frame. Big double for Charlie Martin as he leads off the 9th and 10th. Martin doubles the 9th and 10th as Mostic goes 131. That's 25 pins under his 156 average. We have Lackey. Lackey coming up high. Martin looking for a triple, and he gets 9. Right as Elliot Lackey, 146 average bowler, shooting his spare, and he covers it. Martin misses his one pin. Charlie goes 156, 29 pins above his 127 average. And on a strike, looking for a double. And he ends up leaving just the head pin out of that. As Lackey spared in the 10th, he will shoot his fill ball. And he will cross over, getting 9, so he will go 156 to go with his 146 average. He'll be 10 pins above. Guerin will straight at the head pin, and he'll cover it. So Guerin, after a shaky start, ends up the last 4 frames with marks. As Cretan gets 7, leaving the 3, 4, 5. Or excuse me, 3, 5, 6. Guerin right at the head pin. He will strike, so he will go 135. So that'll be 15 pins above his 120 average. As Cretan spares. Bringing up Baker for Northeastern, the third bowler. And Baker will strike. Cretan throwing his fill ball, is going to cross over. He will leave just the 10 pin, but he will have a beautiful game of 187 to go with his 122 average. So that's 65 pins above his average. As Baker gets 6 on this frame. As we have Kyle Ryan crosses over and he strikes. As Baker will pick up his spare. Baker will have a nice game of 173 to go with his 147 average. So that'll be 26 pins above his average. As Ryan shoots 7 his next ball. Borey shooting here in the 10th. He's going to come up, and he strikes. So right now, the Cougars in the 10th. They got a double from Martin, got a spare and a strike from Guerin, got a strike and a spare from Ryan Baker, and Borey had struck. As Kyle Ryan ends up getting 8 for the frame, 18 for the frame, he goes 135. That's 19 pins under his 154 average. Borey gonna miss the head pin completely. He's gonna get set. He's gonna get 3. As McCarthy crosses over, leaves just the 9 pin. Borey shooting his 7, and he will get a lot of them. He got 9, so he goes 141. So Jared will be 2 pins under his 143 average. As McCarthy will spare. Ballard strikes. So all 5 bowlers have thrown a strike here in the 10th frame. And McCarthy will go 160. Ballard's got it out there, and he gets 5. Ballard will get 2 more, so he'll go 171 to go with his 160 average, so he's 11 up. And the boys B match has been a split, 2-2. PHS winning the second game and carrying the total pins. The Northeastern winning the first and the third. The A match would be 3 for Northeastern and 1 for PHS. So it ends up being a 5-3 win for Northeastern for the boys. And the girls will get you the rest in a minute if we can.
How you guys doing?
As we catch the girls end here, it looks like it's 874 for Plattsburgh, 821 for Northeastern. And the Cougars, I know, will have enough to carry total for this. So it'll end up being 3 for Northeastern, 1 for PHS in the girls match. And that'll be it, coming to you from the Mart.